Hello again, and let's continue with functions. So in this video we're gonna cover these topics, starting from functions with multiple return values, and we will close in with in-out parameters. Okay, it's all about functions, so let's get started. So let's see how we can have a function with multiple return values. In the previous video I showed you how to have a function, how to declare a function with a return value, which is only 1. But what if you have another case where you need to have multiple return values? It's pretty simple. You can use a tuple type as the return type for a function to return multiple values as part of one compound return value. For example, let me explain. Okay, let's have a function. Let's call it some function. Function. Okay, and let's give this arrow, and we will have a tuple of type string, integer, and boolean. Okay, now in this case we can return a tuple, and the first element is required a string, so Hamad, and the second one is integer, and the third one is boolean, so false. Okay, just a demo data. Now in this example we are returning a multiple values, okay, but as one compound. Okay, when I told you can have a function with multiple return values, it doesn't mean you can do this: return a string and then return integer and finally return boolean. Okay, this one is wrong, so don't do it. Okay, the second thing, how to have optional return types. Okay, so we have this type. Okay, let's make this optional by adding question mark. Okay, because in some cases you might you don't know whether the value will be available or not. So if it's not available, it means null. So for example, let's have name as parameter and string. Okay, so if we have a case where we are checking if name equals to Fuad, okay, then return null, else return this. Okay, so in this case, whether you have a tuple or just a boolean or just a string, you can make this as well as any other type as optional. I'm getting a warning because greeting now is optional, so it might have a value and it might not, so it's your call. But in this example we have a function with multiple return values and it's optional. It's depending on our case. If the name equals to Fuad, then return null. It's not gonna give you anything, otherwise it will return all of these. Pretty simple and easy. Next, let's see how we can specify argument labels. Okay, so in this example we have name and column. Okay, what if we want to make our code more readable, so other developers, when they use our function, they know what to pass into the function. So for example, when we call some function, okay, it will ask us for a name. I don't know, is it a name for a person or animal? I have no clue. So we can say enter your name and add a space. So now this one is called the label, argument label, and it will give me an error. So if I fix it, it will replace name with enter your name. So other developers, when they call some function, okay, they will say they will see enter your name instead of name. So they know now, oh, it asks me to enter my name, so I will do it. My name is Hamid. Okay, now this one is just a label. What I mean by that, when you need to use the value inside the function, you should use name, not using enter your name. It's just a label. It will give you an error, so don't use it. Use name. Okay, and you can also have multiple arguments. So you can have age, for example, as integer, and what is your age, space. Now it will give me an error and I will fix it because I'm lazy. Okay, what is your age? Okay, fine. My age is 70. I don't know why. Don't ask me. Don't tell. No, it's just a joke. I'm having fun. So we have two argument labels, and this is pretty much okay. Next, how we can omit argument labels. For example, if we go back to this case, for example, greeting Hamad, if we need to call greet, name is there. However, in some cases the code will be not readable because we are adding this in the after we call the function. So how we can remove this? Okay, if we do this, we will get an error. So the right way is to add underscore before the parameter. Okay, so let's copy this code and add underscore before the name parameter, and let's have a look. After we call greet 8, enter Hamad. Okay, now now name won't be visible. Okay, it depends on your case. Okay, the goal is to make your code readable for you and for other developers. All right, let's see next. Let's see how we can default. Let's see how we can have a default parameter values. Okay, so back to this example, let's see how we can have a default value if the user don't pass any value. We can add equals to Hamad. Okay, and let's remove this and run. We will get Hamad. Hold on a minute. How we got Hamad? And okay, it sounds weird, but it's pretty easy. Okay, if the user or the developer or anyone added, for example, or pass a value to that function, you will get the value. Okay, if not, it will use the default value Hamad. Okay, in some cases you don't want to call the function and add the value that is the default. So instead of doing that, you just add it, and if you need to change the default value, you just can use it. Okay, very easy. Okay, then we have variadic parameters. This one is really interesting because when we call print, for example, we will see items and 3 dots, and these 3 dots called variadic parameters. And what it means is when we have a function, for example sum, okay, and we have names, string, 3 dots, and names now is an array. So we can have for loop name in names. Let's print name. Okay, all right. So when we pass array to the function sum, the names will be printed. Okay, just hold on a minute. Is that an array? Yes, it does. Okay, it is. It is an array. Okay, so let's say I want to call sum. Let me show you the difference between having an array and with having variadic parameter is when you call sum, okay, you can do this, okay, or you can do this, or you can do this. Okay, so oh no you can't. You can only do this. Okay, you can add a comma to as much as you can or remove them all. Okay, let's see. When we run, we will get Hamad, Fuad, and Ahmed. Okay, the function sum will take this as string variadic parameter, and it will be converted to an array, and you can use it as an array. Similarly, when I showed you print is also using variadic parameter. Very easy, very simple. Next, we have inout parameters, and this is the last one. So inout, let's say we have a variable, let's say height, okay, and the height is integer, let's say 200, and we have another function, let's say change height, and we will pass in height, okay, as integer, or you know what, a new height, okay, and yeah, okay. Now inout will help you to change the variable that you are using. For example, let me give you the introduction to it. Function parameters are constants by default, so you can't change them. For example, when we name equals to any other string, it will give you an error because the name is a constant, not a variable. So how to change the value of this one? You have to add inout. Okay, so trying to change the value of a function parameter from within the body of that function results an error in the from the compiler. Okay, this means that you can't change the value of a parameter by mistake. Okay, if you want a function to modify a parameter's value and you want those changes to persist, after the function call has ended, define that parameter as inout parameter instead. Okay, so for example, let's change the height, and we have a new height as integer. Before the type, we can add a keyword reserved in the Swift compiler inout. Okay, now we can a new height plus equal to 2. Okay, and let's print height. Let's first of all, let's call the function. Oh my god. So let's say I'm using this one, the height, which is the variable. The value of height is equals to 200, and it should add 2 to the 100 and change the value of that variable. Okay, let's run, and we will get 202. So the value of 200 now is changed to 202. Okay, pay close attention to that we haven't used height plus equal to 2. We used new height instead, and the new height is referencing the height variable. So anything, it will impact the variable. Okay, and that's it. Very easy, very simple. So the upcoming video, we will continue with functions because we have a lot to cover, but this one was a little bit boring. So I decided to have fun a little bit. And thank you for watching.